Hey, my name is Alex and I welcome you to the third episode of my Dark Souls 3 lore through on Siegward. It's been a while since the last episode. I've had to do a lot of planning, but more about that later. Towards the end of the last episode, I think we picked up the Mortician's ashes and we're about to hand them into the Shrine Handmaids, but first let's take a close look at them. Mortician's ashes. Umbral ash of a resident of the Undead settlement who made a living burying corpses. With this, the Shrine Handmaid will prepare new items. So I've been wondering what he's holding in his hands in this image. It kind of looks like black sludge. I was wondering if it's maybe like part of the deep or something. I'm really not sure. But yeah, we found this, I think, around the place where the giant from the tower was shooting his arrows. So yeah, the Mortician might have found his end there. But yeah, let's hand him in.
A pleasure to make thine acquaintance, Ashen One. I am but a humble handmaid of the shrine. Weapons, armor, trinkets, and spells. I've lots of little things to ease the burden of a weary traveler. And yes, I'm undead too, but not so charitable as to give my goods away. Ashen One, fetch souls and bring them to me. As is thy wont, no?
Yeah, so this was actually the first time we're speaking to the Shrine Handmaid. Give Umbral ash, give Mortician's ashes.
Gracious, passing fine ash thou'st given. Let this ash bestow nourishment. I only hope these new wares content thee.
Okay, so with that we have unlocked the grave key. Key to the barred door leading from the sewer below the undead settlement to a moist grave. The grave, which no longer receives visitors, was once the site of a statue of Velka, goddess of sin, and was believed to pardon wrongdoing and lift curses. So yeah, this seems to be, we're gonna buy it, this seems to be the key that was leading to the grave where the Mortician was burying corpses. Okay, and we want prism stone and we don't have any black fire bombs yet.
Ashen One.
I wonder if Grey Red sells any.
Oh, and
He does not, but that's alright. Okay, so yeah, I was wondering a bit about the Mortician. I was wondering if he's maybe employed by the Cathedral of the Deep. And if he's, I don't know, preparing corpses or something like that, that are supposed to be delivered to the Cathedral of the Deep for Aldrich, so that they might be fed to him. But I'm not quite sure, to be honest, what the role of the Mortician is. But yeah, let's make our way to Pickle Pee real quick. And we're gonna do it the old-fashioned way because I'm not spending any souls on the tower key. Oh yeah, and I just got naked so that the jump is a little bit easier. But let's get dressed again. We are on a full night, of course, right? Alright. Because we have just, well, one item for this Lorethrough that I want to hand in to the crows.
Me, Pickle Pee. Me, Pump-a-Rum.
Okay, let's hand in a single Zeke boy.
Pump-a-Rum, Pump-a-Rum. Pump-a-Rum, Pump-a-Rum.
And we get the Armor of the Sun. That's right, if you weren't already convinced enough from last episode about the connection between Siegward and Solaire and him being a warrior of sunlight, we actually do get a piece of Solaire's armor if we hand in one of the most clearly Siegward connected items, being the Zeke boy, of course. So yeah, if we hand in a Siegward, we get the Armor of the Sun. Chainmail, armor and white coat featuring a large rendition of the holy symbol of the sun, the choice attire of a singular knight of sunlight from a previous age. The symbol was painted by the knight himself, but the armor never bore any special power, sacred or otherwise. Yeah, I just wanted to show that off, just for our completion, for the sake of completion, that there is even more connection between Siegward and Solaire and him and the Warriors of Sunlight. And we got ourselves a nice Estus sword. And this ring that we're probably not gonna use. Okay, if you wonder why I bought that Prism Stone, it was just because I could trade in a few more items to get some useful upgrade materials. Of course, the most important item. And I went and got a black firebomb as well. Okay, that should do. So I'm just gonna hand in my Estus shard real quick, see if I can upgrade my weapon, and then we're gonna see each other on the next location. Okay. Part of the reason why this episode is releasing, well, I guess so late, is because I've been just thinking so much about Carim and the Way of White and how they relate to Catarina. And yeah, I have a lot of thoughts about all of that, and to be honest, the Way of White is still quite confusing to me. I'm not sure if I fully understand it. But yeah, because like I said, they're all connected in some way or another to Catarina, so I was trying to figure those things out and figure out how relevant it is to this Lorethrough. But I think I know how to handle it for now. So let's talk to a character from Carim.
Another one of those unkindled, are you? All you faceless undead, behaving as if you deserve respect. No matter. Heed my words. If you've any sense, you'll go find a coffin to huddle up inside. You here, in this land of hollows. You're like a frail maiden on the front lines. If, like the others, you're fool enough to play the champion, then go on ahead. Traipse right past the abandoned church. You'll face death. And it won't be pretty. Enough death to leave you broken. Time after time. Yeah. If, like the others, you're fool enough to play the champion, then go on ahead.
Yes, probably my favorite voice in Dark Souls 3. Him and what's his name? The guy who's waiting in front of Sister Frida's church. Okay. So we got the grave key, and we're gonna put it to some good use. I wonder if the dogs follow us down here. Yep. Worst enemies in the game, I swear to God. Well, and these guys, the rats, they are some of the worst enemies in Dark Souls 1. Oh, I was out of stamina. You stay up there. Okay, the grave. But first, let's take care of these rats down here. Oh, that does no damage. So we got the Bloodbite ring. Let's just unlock this shortcut real quick. I don't think we're gonna use it, but might as well. Okay, so Bloodbite ring. One of the bite rings native to Carim increases bleed resistance. The crafting of these rings is forbidden, perhaps owing to a fear of malleable stone. Clerics, however, dabble freely in the art. So there's a presence of Carim down here, and well, we just talked to, what's his name? How do you pronounce it? Eygon of Carim, and we're about to speak to Irina. So there's a strong presence of Carim down here towards these towards his grave and these sewers, and you might wonder like how the Bloodbite ring ended up here. Maybe I'm not quite sure about it either. Maybe there was some Carim priests on the way maybe to free Irina or something, or I don't know. Maybe they get killed by the rats, or just by the Way of White, not the Way of White, by the cathedral, because cathedral has the Cathedral of the Deep has a strong presence in the Undead settlement with all the evangelists and well, I don't know the name of the enemy actually, but those guys carrying the cages towards the road of sacrifices leading to the cathedral. And of course there's also the statue of Velka here, and I have a lot of thoughts. Like, this is also one of the reasons why it took me so long to figure out how to go about this episode, because I could speak so much about Velka as well, and to be honest, I might even do a whole lore through on her one day or another. But yeah, I think I've pretty much like, there's a lot of theories and stuff about her, of course, but I think I'm of the opinion that Velka is essentially the same person as the goddess Caitha. But yeah, I don't want to spend too much time talking about that, as it's not relevant to Siegward himself, I think. We don't actually need this Pythonite lizard, I think. I think he drops a a heavy gem. And I think we already have one, but might as well. I always thought it was so weird how much fall damage this guy can take without dying. I mean, it's, I guess, the point of him being positioned here, but come on. Of course he's not dead. Oh, the evangelist fell down here. So yeah, I wonder if Irina was locked in here by the Cathedral of the Deep, as we will find out later. They are seemingly trying to suppress the influence of Carim in these lands, especially in the Cathedral of the Deep. When we get there, we can take a closer look at it, but it seems that they're suppressing the Carim clerics from these lands. And it could also be Eygon locking her in. I've seen people theorize that as well, that he might have locked her in here to keep her safe, but I'm not quite sure. I think I'm gonna go with the theory that the Mortician was employed by the Cathedral of the Deep, killed by the giant, and yeah, he locked her in here because we get the key for her cell from his ashes. But yeah, let's talk to her.
Who is there? Someone there? Anyone? Oh, please, whoever you are, touch me. The dark surrounds me, nibbles at my flesh. Little creatures, they never stop biting. So please, hold out your hand and touch me.
I think Siegward would help her out and touch her, so let's do it.
Yes, there you are. So close, indeed. Then I am not entirely alone just yet. Praise the merciful gods above. Oh, forgive me. I am Irina of Carim. I came to this land so that I might be a firekeeper. Your touch has freed me from the darkness. You are a champion, then. I am weak and unfit to tend the flames. But if it would not trouble you, might I enter into your service instead? Oh, thank you, sweet champion. I shall take my vows. I, Irina of Carim, solemnly swear to serve you.
Okay, so yeah, not just the player character, but Siegward, the character himself, as we have established, is a champion of Ash, or an Unkindled. And so yeah, I think it makes sense for him to be allied with Irina, because she wants to become a Firekeeper, and Siegward, as an Unkindled, wants to link the fire. And I think that's also both in line with, I guess, their faiths. Siegward being a Knight of Catarina, who, as we've established in the last episode, believes in the gods of Anor Londo, Gwyn and such, and says, "Long may the sun shine." And, well, here's where Carim is kind of a can of worms. Like, in Dark Souls 1, they were like more associated with Velka, and I guess like more of the dark, as Velka is kind of, I guess, a goddess of darkness and sort of opposes the other lords of the other gods of Anor Londo. But by the time of Dark Souls 3, it seems that Carim has taken over the influence of Thorland over the Way of White, and as we also saw with Irina's set, she's wearing the Maiden set, which in Dark Souls 1 was worn by Rhea of Thorland, and she was of course from the Way of White. So there's other things indicating this as well, but yeah, it's interesting how the faith of Carim seems to have changed through the time. But yeah, that aside, I was also just gonna talk here about how Irina, and by extension Carim, sort of serves as foil to Siegward and Catarina. Did I just say Catarina? I don't know. How Carim serves as foil to Catarina as well. We mentioned this in the first episode with Carim sort of being the yin to Catarina's yang, but I just wanted to go a little bit deeper here now that we've met Irina. Things that are associated with the yin and the yang. So if we assume Carim to be the yin to Catarina's yang, that would show, like we can see a few of the attributes that are associated with the yin to Irina and to Carim. So things that are associated with the yin are female, dark, negative, passive, cold, and soft. I think those are all things that in one way or another fit Irina and many of the characters of Carim. And things that are associated with Catarina, or rather with the yang, which I attribute to Catarina, are male, bright, positive, assertive, hot, and hard. And I think those are adjectives that really describe the characters of Catarina, especially Siegward, that we know. So yeah, but as I mentioned in the first episode, I think this just sort of shows that they are both two sides of the same coin, through the yin and the yang. They are both, well, in Dark Souls 3, Carim through the Way of White and Catarina through their own faith, are both adherents of the gods of Anor Londo. So that's how they are both two sides of the same coin, I believe. I think it makes sense for them to be allied through the gods that they believe in. And we're gonna find out a little bit later who they oppose, I suppose. Okay.
You've gone and rescued her, have you? How very quaint. Pitying creatures that are beyond help. Very well. I'm sick of looking after her at any rate. I am Eygon, a Knight of Carim. I am allied to you for as long as you assure the girl's safety. And only for that long. What's the matter? My terms are very simple. I am allied to you for as long as you assure the girl's safety. And only for that long.
Okay. Well, dark, negative, and cold certainly describe Eygon as well. Dude, I love his character design, by the way. His armor is so sick, and his hammer as well. Could do a whole lore through on him as well, honestly. But yeah, we're not gonna follow the whole quests of these two, I think. But we have Irina at the Firelink Shrine now, so we should probably pay her a visit.
come back. I was not meant to be a firekeeper, but I am honored to serve you beside the bonfire. The gods are ever merciful. My gratitude lies with them and with you. I am yours now. Your wish is my command. You know, in my home of Carim, I was a nun. I would be pleased to share the tales of miracles with you. Although, to be honest, I only know a few. But if I had a divine tome, I could tell you many tales and more. Oh, only I cannot see. Terribly sorry, but you'll have to find me a divine tome in Braille.
You know, I think even just within the characters of Carim from this game, being Irina and Eygon, there's also sort of a yin and yang within those two, as there's a female character and a male character, one of them being, well, the female being dressed in white, the male being dressed in dark, which is sort of the yin inside of the yang and the yang inside of the yin. And I just thought about how it's also interesting that you can teach her both, I guess, light and dark miracles. Yeah, which kind of shows the darkness within the light and the light within the darkness. But yeah, I just wanted to look at two miracles that she has from the start. The first being Replenishment. Miracle once cherished by cleric knights. Gradually restores HP. Replenishment is a relic of the old Lloyd faith, whose cleric knights were unfaltering in battle. So Lloyd is a character first mentioned in Dark Souls 1. And there he's mentioned as Allfather Lloyd, who is sort of, I think he was the founder of the Way of White, and I think he's the uncle of Gwyn basically, but his influence has since faded, even though the Way of White has sort of remained. And the second miracle we wanted to look at is Caressing Tears. Miracle taught by Morn, the Archbishop's apostle. Cures bleeding, poison, and frost for self and those in the vicinity. Caressing Tears is a tale of the many deaths surrounding the goddess Caitha, of whom Morn was a known follower. So I think the fact that she sells both a miracle associated with Lloyd and the Way of White through him, and one of associated with Caitha, and through that, well, Carim, because Caitha is a goddess of Carim. The unison of these two, the Way of White and Carim, is one of the earlier hints of, well, them being agreeable in this game, unlike in Dark Souls 1.
Have a pleasant journey, Champion of Ash. I pray for your safety.
Thank you. Okay, the Road of Sacrifices. We are basically just gonna rush through here. It's a small area anyway. I thought there was a Titanite charge. So we have to drop down, I think, to the right side here. Well, almost here. There should be a few dogs around here, I think. Oh, I hope we're not being followed by the Corvians. I really do not have a lot of stamina with this Zweihander. Okay, the strong attack one hits them. Okay, down here, we find two items on two corpses. Morn's Ring and Braille Divine Tome of Carim. And we're getting closer to the Cathedral of the Deep, as we are on the Road of Sacrifices, and it seems that two people have found their end here. So let's look at Morn's Ring first. Morn's Ring, a malformed ring given to Knights of Carim, boosts miracles. Morn served the goddess Caitha and later became an apostle of the Archbishop. They labored together to provide comfort to the suffering. So I actually cannot equip this, as you see in the top right, as of now, because I will be having more than 70% weight ratio. I can actually equip the Bloodbite ring. But yeah, so we have another hint to Carim here, and the Braille Divine Tome, where is it? It's here. Braille Divine Tome of Carim, a sacred Braille tome from Carim filled with advanced miracles. Give to a storyteller to learn advanced Carim miracles. In the Way of White, there is a tradition of placing great faith in the words of the blind, and Braille tomes are not unusual. So I think this item in particular is really interesting. So it mentions here how in the Way of White, there's a lot of faith being placed in the words of the blind, and I think this wasn't, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think this wasn't really present in Dark Souls 1 in the Way of White there, as I'm pretty sure, again, correct me if I'm wrong, Rhea and the other characters from the Way of White were like, they weren't blind, right? But here Irina, of course, is blind, and it seems to be another hint indicating that the Way of White and its traditions have changed with Carim being more influential. And as you can see on the image here of the tome itself, there seems to be a person, and I think this person is Gwyn. I think it's an image of Gwyn, so I interpret this as the Way of White and Carim's faith sort of having merged, with Carim maybe moving a bit away from placing faith in the dark goddess of Velka, and her, in my opinion, reincarnation of Caitha, being a more, I don't want to say benevolent, but a god that's painted in a more like bright image, and their faith, Carim's faith, merging with the Way of White, who believed in the gods of Anor Londo, with Gwyn being at the top. So I think this is another connection between Carim and Catarina, as Catarina Knights also believe in Gwyn and the gods of Anor Londo. But yeah, so this is a Braille tome and the ring of one of the Morn Knights being found here on 2 corpses. So it seems that another duo like Irina and Eygon have found their end here on the way to the road, or like on the road of sacrifices, on the way to the Cathedral of the Deep. So I think this can be interpreted as them maybe having been assassinated or something here on the way to the Cathedral of the Deep, because as we'll find out, the cathedral has gone through a bit of a change, and the Way of White and Carim is no longer welcomed there, with the influence of the Pontiff Sullivan and Aldrich, Devourer of Gods, having grown in the cathedral. Okay, I'm just gonna quickly run over and grab the Farron Coal that's next to a Black Knight, because I want to infuse my Zweihänder with a heavy gem, and I need the coal for that. Farron Coal. I don't really want to mess with this Black Knight, so let's just run past him and try to get to the next bonfire. I saw a video recently, or like a clip of someone who has played this game a lot, not knowing that there's a bonfire here, so if you're one of those people, yes, this bonfire exists and is the closest shortcut to, or the closest bonfire to, the Crystal Sages. Okay, for now all that's left to do in this area is to make our ways to the Crystal Sage. I have infused my Zweihänder with a heavy gem and upgraded it once, and put one more level into Vitality, so we can wear 4 rings without having to worry. Okay, our damage is good, but our stamina runs out so quickly. Let's see if we can first try this boss. Oh my god, that was so bad. No. Now the annoying part begins. Oh, Nice, a third hit. Okay, now the annoying part should begin. Oh, that's the right one, actually. Okay, I think that was no hit. Not too bad. Okay, and we're gonna make our way to the Cathedral of the Deep. As you can see, there is another one of these corpse carriers delivering corpses to the Cathedral of the Deep for Aldrich to devour, I suppose. And down here there's an evangelist. The Titanite lizard, crystal lizard just died. And another one of those corpse carriers over there. I actually forgot what... Oh yeah, you just have to run across the bridge. Free bonfire. Okay, our next important item is gonna be just down here, if I'm correct. Yes, guarded by this... What are you? I forgot his name. He's dishing out damage. He has almost more HP than the Crystal Sage, it seems. Come on, just die, okay? And we sent him flying. Okay, he was guarding the Paladin's ashes. So let's make our way back to Firelink Shrine and take a look at them before we hand them in. Paladin's Ashes, umbral ash of a worn-out paladin who sought the Cathedral of the Deep. With this, the shrine handmaid will prepare new items. This paladin paid quite a price for his headstrong justice. Okay, so I think a paladin is like a cleric that's delivering a message, or a cleric that's a knight, something like that. And in his hand we can see him clutching an Undead Hunter Charm, which we actually have one of. Undead Hunter Charm, tool used to hunt down the undead, blocks Estus recovery within a limited area, used long ago by Lloyd's cleric knights on their undead hunts. Although Allfather Lloyd is long forgotten by the Way of White, his hunts have lived on, and this charm allows one to challenge undead without fear of tenacious healing. So in Dark Souls 1 this was actually called Lloyd's Talisman, and the fact that it's not called that anymore, so Lloyd's name is removed from the name of the item, I think is also a nice hint at his influence and having kind of disappeared and him being sort of forgotten. But yeah, this paladin seems to have been clutching such a talisman, or undead hunter charm, I suppose, and I think so this might indicate that he's a cleric perhaps of the Way of White who has made his way to the cathedral to maybe deliver a message or to challenge the cathedral, who have turned their back to the Way of White. And yeah, he has seemingly found his end on his way to the Cathedral of the Deep, which is pretty interesting. Another indication that the cathedral has given up on the Way of White, I suppose.
Gracious, let Iona.
And one of the items that we can now buy after having handed in this ash is Lloyd's shield ring. Ring given to Knights of the Way of White. Depicts Allfather Lloyd's shield of caste. Boosts damage absorption when HP is full. Much time has passed since the worship of Lloyd was common in the Way of White. The clerics of Carim had always strongly asserted that Lloyd was a derivative fraud and that the Allfather title was self-proclaimed. So, yeah, this is what I alluded to earlier, with Carim having sort of taken more influence over the Way of White, and also Lloyd having, yeah, been having been stripped of his title, sort of. And what I think is interesting, and one of the main reasons why I even chose to have a little bit of a focus on Carim, even though this is about Siegward and Catarina, is if you take into consideration the effect of this ring, being that it boosts damage absorption when HP is full, it quite literally, and let's buy this, it quite literally is the opposite of the Tearstone rings. So the Tearstone, the blue Tearstone ring, increases damage absorption when HP is low, and Lloyd's Shield ring boosts damage absorption when HP is full. So it's sort of the same effect, but for the other end of the HP spectrum. And I think this, and if you consider all the things that I've said so far about the Way of White, Carim, and Lloyd, it just further shows how Carim and Catarina sort of oppose Lloyd's doctrine, I guess. So it's not only reflected through their faiths, but also through the literal effect of items associated with either of them. So I thought that was really interesting, and we maybe should even equip this if we can. Yes, we can. Oh, that effect sort of just that effect, the sound that it made just scared me a little bit, I can't even lie. Okay, so I just realized that this putting on this ring sort of goes against the benefit of the doubt rule, because you can see like the effect it has if you look closely at our character model, and we don't see that when we see Siegward, so he's certainly not wearing this ring. And honestly, I shouldn't have put it on to begin with if you consider that this is associated with Lloyd, and I literally was just talking about how that is not in agreement with Carim and Catarina. So yeah, I guess let's put this on, or maybe even this one. This is gonna be a bit more useful. Okay. The dogs in this game are so bad. Like, if you don't know, they can literally teleport behind you if you're like getting too far away from them. And while running, you can sometimes notice that.
Merciful goddess, mother of the forlorn, who have no place to call their own, please bear witness to our resolve. Fire for Ariandel. Fire for Ariandel. And the ash to kindle flame.
Okay, so we see Gale here, and he was praying to a merciful goddess who he called the Mother of the Forlorn, and by all accounts this should be about Velka, as far as I can tell. These are things that are associated with Velka, especially from Dark Souls 1. Also, her being merciful kind of relates to her being the goddess of sin, because she can absolve people of their sins. So she has mercy in a way. But if we look up to the statue that he might have been praying to, it looks to be the statue of Caitha, because we see a woman who has her hand in front of her face as if she's crying, and this certainly doesn't look like the statue of Velka that we've seen in the Grave and the Undead Settlement, or any of the statues of Velka that we maybe know from Dark Souls 1. And something that's also interesting is that the statue seems to have been more or less hidden away, as we have this altar right in front of her, which further indicates how in the Cathedral of the Deep, the faith of Caitha and the faith of Carim, and by that extent the Way of White, have yeah, have taken a hit and have had their influence stripped away, sort of. Okay, I am not looking forward to this. We are going to have to do one big run to get into the cathedral and to the next bonfire. When I first played this game, I actually had to look up where the next bonfire was from here on, because it's just so... Oops, I meant to kick him. It's just such a long way with so many enemies. Of course now I shouldn't really struggle anymore, but yeah. Thank you for that Estus shirt. Thanks to our trusty giant, it should be a bit easier to loot these items, because of course Siegward has made friends with him. And he's protecting ourselves from all these annoying enemies. Well, we might still die here with this bleed build up. Oh my god. I desperately need to hand in our Undead Bone Shard as well, because our Estus Flask is not healing a lot anymore. Oh yeah, I just upgraded my health twice as well. Okay. I think they're called the Grave Wardens. I basically just came here for the Undead Bone Shard, to be honest. I just kicked this ladder down in case we die. So these guys are actually, or like this guy is actually throwing wait, was it? Oh, it was this guy. It's actually throwing those Undead Hunter Charms at us, so that we cannot use our Estus Flask for a bit. So yeah, we still see a little bit of the Way of Whites and Lloyd's influence in the cathedral, hinting at the fact that it at least used to be present here in this cathedral. So this is gonna be the most dangerous spot, I think. Oh, I got stuck on the... Yeah, I still cannot use my Estus Flask. These thieves here are gonna be really annoying. But I think I should be good. I just hope I have enough stamina to outrun these Grave Wardens. Okay, that should do it. And big explosion. Oh, they can damage each other. That's interesting. The thieves can damage the Grave Wardens. Usually they don't follow me for this long. This is scary. just almost took the wrong turn. How did you not take fall damage? Well, that was sketchy. This has gotta be one of the most impactful shortcuts of Dark Souls, of the Dark Souls series. I don't know, even though I didn't die, I just think this run is way too long without a bonfire or earlier shortcuts. So before we head to our next item and our next point of interest, I just thought of something interesting while running through the shortcut. So let me just get rid of these enemies real quick. So I'm not going to focus too much on the Cathedral of the Deep. A lot has been said about it and the Deep already. I think JSF and Eygon of Carim have discussed this in quite a lot of detail. I think they had an episode with Caitha as well. I still have to watch a video from JSF called The Bastard's Curse, I think. Though I'm not sure if it's even available on YouTube anymore. But yeah, so this cathedral has essentially been corrupted. The Deep seems to have been some form of water or something like that was being venerated here. And we have these statues all across the cathedral. And they vomit, I guess, on us, or they just drop some liquid on us that causes poison buildup. And when you think about it, this statue looks kind of similar, I guess, to the one in the cleansing chapel, or at the very least, it seems to be someone who's holding their hands in front of their face, and they appear to be crying. So I think they used to drop water in a way to like spiritually cleanse someone of maybe their sins or something like that. And you could probably draw a lot of comparisons to miracles like caressing tears and stuff like that. But through the corruption of the deep and the stagnation of water and such, which yeah, there's a lot of discussion about this in regards to, is it Buddhist culture or Taoist tradition? I don't know, something like that. But yeah, that if that flowing water in a way is pure, but if water stagnates, it gets unpure. And I think there's a lot of parallels with that and the corruption of the deep. So it seems that this statue of assuming that's Caitha, this statue of Caitha seems to have also been corrupted with the corruption of the deep. Another one of them here. The layout of this cathedral is still... honestly, I think the inside of the cathedral is one of the better levels in Dark Souls 3, but I just keep getting lost here, but I think I know what the best path to take is. Oh, and we just picked up Lloyd's sword talisman as well. We might take a look at that when we have opened the next door. And of course I'm being invaded by Kirk. I forgot that I probably shouldn't be embered here. I hope he's gonna follow us all the way up here so I can get a better fight in against him. I think he's coming. Hey, you look like me.
Well, you look reasonably sane. I am a knight of Catarina. I've managed to track down this cathedral's store of treasure. It's right over there, across that narrow part. Treasure. Always so close, yet so far. I'm in quite a pickle, indeed. Well, just hold your horses a moment. I know. Treasure is so sorely tempting. Well,
Okay, so it seems to be Siegward. At the very least, he's talking like him, though his voice seems to have changed a bit. So let's make our way to this treasure that he's told us about.
Shame on you, you greedy guts. Thought you could outwit an onion. Well, say hello to the nice giant. He adores visitors.
Oh no. So there's a lot that I can and will say about Patches and this pickle that we have found ourselves in here, but I'm gonna save that for until we have finished this part of the quest by giving Siegward his armor down the well. But first we need to get rid of Longfinger Kirk. Oops, I should be two-handed. How did I not hit him there? This thief is so annoying. Okay, let's unlock this other shortcut. I just went and backed up my save file for the first time during this episode, which I probably should have done a few more times, but I think we're gonna be alright. But yeah, at the end of this episode, or towards the end at least we're gonna have quite a discussion about Siegward and what's going on here, because I've found out some really interesting things. And yeah.
Hello? Hello? Anyone there? Anyone at all?
Now that's a familiar voice.
Oh. I know that voice. Just how long has it been? It's me, Siegward of Catarina. I'm loath to admit it, but I've been had. Someone's swiped my armor. Did you happen to see it anywhere?
Well, we have to keep our armor on, so for now I haven't seen it. I hope this doesn't screw up the quest, but we can still buy it from Patches.
Yes, I see. Not to worry. Great planning begets great fortune. An old tenant of the Knights of Catarina. And I am a master planner, I do say. Ha 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 ha.
Okay. Well, I've also been had Siegward, as is befitting for the character of our Lorethrough. We fell for Patches' trap as well. But yeah, let's take a look at Lloyd's sword ring real quick. It's basically saying the same thing as the shield ring, just for Just that the item effect is about attack power and not damage absorption when HP is full. So yeah, this is essentially the pendant to the red tier stone ring. So yeah, let's help him get his get back his armor. I just realized I have a whole 14,000 souls. I better not lose them. This part with the rafters can get quite annoying, and to be honest I might die. Fun fact, this enemy is not hostile. For some reason. Okay, I say we just rush forward. So I have to drop down there. Of course that was gonna happen. Okay, I think we made it.
Yes, hello. Oh, I don't believe we've met. I'm Patches. Unbreakable Patches. You seem to be unkindled. Do you have business with me?
You know who I am.
Oh, yes, of course. It's coming back to me now. Oh, I'm so sorry. That was my hand, as you know. But the deed, well, that was the armor's doing. Regrettable, truly. But behold, I'm stripped clean of that unruly attire. And look at you. Not a scratch. All's well that ends well, right? Yes, we'll be fine. I can tell. It's that rotten curse. It is. The untidy mess.
I love how he says that it's the armor's doing, as if the armor has like corrupted him or something. Not like this armor is worn by like one of the nicest characters in the whole franchise.
Oh, yes. Now, it wasn't me, but you still deserve an apology. Just a little trinket. Go ahead. It's yours now. You should know, I'm a kind of travelling merchant. If you're as unkindled as you look, you'll find plenty of good stuff.
Hey, you have the armor of someone that I know. So I think we don't actually have enough souls to buy all of it right now. But yeah.
Can't find anything you like. Well, you could try looking a little harder. Oh, yes. Well, what can I do? Can't resist it, can you? My sumptuous selection.
I'm actually surprised that we don't get the option to forgive him here. Is it just when you get tricked by him in the tower in Firelink Shrine? I'm not sure. But yeah, the Catarina said now we have enough souls for it. And you don't have to buy the shield, I just made sure to look that up.
Thanks, good comp.
Oh, why did this sentence just cut off there?
Oh, yeah, can't.
Okay. We can just use this as a little lift to quickly get back to Siegward. Okay, so before we give back the armor pieces to Siegward, let's read the item descriptions now that we have obtained them the normal way. Catarina Helm. Distinctively shaped helm worn by the Knights of Catarina, often ridiculed for its onion-like shape, infuriating the country's proud knights, but the masterfully forged curved design makes it very effective for deflecting blows. I think the sentence reads a bit weirdly, but yeah, so I've mentioned already quite a few times that I think in the first episode especially, that the Knights of Catarina are rather proud knights, and I think this is pretty much where I got it from. And I also love how they mentioned the onion-like shape here again. That line from Patches was pretty funny where he said, "Thought you could outwit an onion." Okay, let's give it back to our friend. I also wonder how he even, like, what did Patches do to him to have him end up down here without his armor? Like, I can't even imagine. He probably wouldn't fit down here with his armor, or maybe just about. I also have no idea how. Well, let's talk to him first.
I'm in quite a pickle indeed. Maybe I can fashion a replacement from I've got to use my head and think.
I actually wonder if we would have thrown him his armor when we were wearing it, if it would have made us naked or not. But yeah, let's throw him his armor. Oh.
Oh, my armor. My deepest gratitude. I'll Siegward of Catarina salute you. With my trusty suit of armor, I'll be out of here in a jiffy. Until we meet again, comrade.
Rejoice. In a jiffy, that's such a funny thing to say.
No need to worry about me. With my trusty suit of armor, I'll be out of here in a jiffy. Until we meet again, my good friend.
I think it's interesting that the game oh my god, I cannot speak, prioritizes the armor that you're wearing instead of just throwing him the set that you have in your inventory. That was weird. But yeah, let's rest at the bonfire and have a little discussion. So there's a lot to unpack here with what has just transpired. First off, it's another instance of what I mentioned before, of Siegward always being in trouble if there is a giant nearby. In the last episode, it was the giant on top of the tower in the Undead settlement, of course, and there he needed our help to use the lift. And again here, he's in trouble in the Cathedral of the Deep, where there's also giants very close by. So I think this is a very interesting foreshadowing for his arc that he has with Yorm of the Giant, of course, and his connection to the giants. And Patches in the cathedral actually makes you fight the giants. I mean, he lowers the bridge when he traps you to make you fight the giants, which is also a very interesting connection to Yorm and to Siegward, of course, because Patches is wearing Siegward's armor and then makes you fight the giants. And I was also wondering that it's interesting in Dark Souls 1, Patches, the returning character, of course, is actually found in the Tomb of the Giants for the first time. Well, if you don't find him in the catacombs, at least. So, and there's another connection between Patches and the giants, which I thought was interesting. And I was wondering why Siegward even is in this place. First, I was wondering if he's maybe looking for Yorm in the cathedral because there's giants here, but I don't necessarily think so upon further consideration, because, I don't know, he should know, I think, where Yorm resides in the profane capital, of course. And then I realized that, of course, we've established that Siegward is a knight. he's a knight, but he's also a cleric, you know, he's using miracles and such. And yeah, this ties in with what we've discussed earlier in the episode, of him and the Knights of Catarina, being of course followers of a similar faith to that of the Way of White, meaning that they believe in the gods of Ernolondo, Gwyn and such. And so I think what I've settled on now is that he might have come here to fight against the Cathedral of the Deep, because they have, of course, their faith has changed. So he might have come here to restore the faith of the Cathedral of the Deep, to again venerate the gods of Ernolondo, Gwyn and such. So I think that's why he came here as a cleric rather more than he came here as a knight, I guess. And I was also thinking why Patches robs him here, robs him of his armor. Of course, it could just be that he does that to anyone he comes across. But I think there's another interesting parallel to Dark Souls 1, because in Dark Souls 1 he asks you if you're a cleric. He really seems to not like clerics. And the people, well, the people from Thorland that he has also trapped in the Tomb of the Giants before he does the same to us. So he really seems to have something against clerics, because those Thorland followers, to be honest, I can't remember all of their names. It's Rhea, Nico, and I forgot the other guy. But yeah, he really seems to not like clerics. So maybe I was wondering if he maybe swiped the armor of Siegward and trapped him in the well, because Siegward, as we've established, is also a cleric, of course. So yeah, I think there's a lot of interesting connections between Siegward and Patches, Siegward and the Giants in this place, and Siegward being a cleric, being a cleric that is drawn to this place. So I think all that's left for us to do here is to do what presumably Siegward came here for, which is to challenge the Cathedral of the Deep, or rather the Deacons of the Deep, to fulfill his mission as a cleric of, not the Way of White, but I guess of Gwyn. I'm not sure that this is the best runway to Deacons, but when do you really have to do a run back to this boss fight? I say this now and watch me die to him. To them, I mean. I wonder if the Emit Force spell could be useful against them. Because they're always like huddled up in one place. It can be pretty annoying. Let's buff ourselves with Sacred Oath. Let's see if I can one-hit them. Oh, not quite. That is so unsatisfying. So I should go for a heavy attack. Okay, that's not enough for the fat ones. Not to make fun of people's weight, of course. Not Siegward of all people. Okay, for the small ones, it's ample. So far this is going better than on my NG Plus build, to be honest. Oh yeah, I just spent like the last couple of days finishing all the achievements in Dark Souls 3, so I have 100% of the game now. Oh my god, I just missed. It's so annoying when they do that. Let's actually just try out if we can make use of this miracle against this boss fight. I should probably use Unfaltering Prayer. It's kind of useful, but also kind of not. But yeah, I just 100% at Dark Souls 3. I basically beat the game twice in one day. At least the bosses that I had to beat to get all the rings and such. It's honestly interesting, or like cool, how fast you can play these games if you're already familiar with them. It's not like I was doing even any speedrun tactics or so, you know. I hate strange how he's hiding amongst the other deacons. One more hit. Okay, that wasn't too bad. And with that, we have restored our Ember and have restored the faith of the Knights of Catarina. So I think that'll do for today's episode. I'm thinking of doing like 2 more episodes for this series until we're done. We will see. I hope the last episode, like if we just do 2 more, I hope the second episode that's remaining won't be too long. Maybe we will have to do 3, we'll see. But yeah, please let me know what you think of the things that we've discussed in this episode, especially the connections between Carim and Catarina and the Way of White. I would be absolutely happy to hear what you have to say about my opinions here, and probably can even enlighten me on a few things that I wasn't so sure about. But yeah, besides that, please subscribe to my channel, make sure to like the video and comment something down below. And besides that, long may the sun shine.